Hi, I'm Steve Poftak, General Manager of the MBTA. Last year, the MBTA's Fiscal and Management Control Board commissioned an independent safety review panel to perform an agency-wide safety assessment of the MBTA. In December, the safety panel issued its final report that provided us with a roadmap of tangible actions to make the MBTA a safer, best-in-class public transit system. The safety panel recommended a renewed focus on implementing the safety management system and strengthening the safety culture. The SMS is a formal, top-down, organization-wide approach to managing and mitigating safety risk across the MBTA. The safety panel also identified staffing needs. Since last February, the safety department has undergone a reorganization that included hiring new subject matter experts and increasing the department's ability to conduct investigation. These employees allow the T to better respond to incidents, investigate, track corrective actions, and dig into why things happen, so we can learn and make sure those issues do not happen again. Earlier this year, as part of our follow-up to the safety panel report, I announced a reorganization of the safety department, which included strengthening our leadership team. It is my pleasure today to introduce Ester as the MBTA's new Chief Safety Officer. Ron's transit career spans more than 28 years at the Chicago Transit Authority, where he worked his way up from the front lines to executive positions in operations and as Chief Safety and Security Officer. Ron has walked in the shoes of both the Chief Safety Officer and transit operations, and this unique blend of experience will serve the MBTA well. It's my pleasure to have Ron join me today to introduce himself to the workforce and our customers. Welcome to the MBTA, Ron.
Thanks, Steve.
Let's start by having you introduce yourself and share your first impressions of the T.
And as you mentioned, I have 28 plus years of experience at the Chicago Transit Authority. I began my career at the Chicago Transit Authority operating trains. I went into supervision, rail instruction, rail controller, and then I went into the management ranks, where I rose to the vice president of rail operations and the control center. I was then placed in the safety department as the deputy chief of safety and security. My first impression of the MBTA is that there's a lot of dedicated people with strong commitments to safety. The capital program with the investments into infrastructure to bring the system up to a state of good repair, purchasing of the rail cars and vehicles, all are strong commitments to the safety culture.
Let's talk a little bit more about your time at CTA. What are some of the best practices that you envision bringing from there?
So best practices from the Chicago Transit Authority, I would say we had a Labor Management Safety Committee meeting. In that Labor Management Safety Committee meeting, we brought the union presidents in and we had a conversation with them on what they had as safety concerns. And we also brought to the table things that are initiatives that we were trying to roll out so that they could bring it to their members in order for it to be a smoother transition in whatever changes that we thought needed to be made. So I think that that was one of the things that I would like to bring here to the MBTA. In addition to that, we had an executive safety meeting. And in the executive safety meeting, all of the leadership from CTA would come and we would meet on safety concerns. And those safety concerns would be concerns that would not able to be remedied at the mid-management level. Mm-hmm. So in all, the communication that we had in those meetings was some of the best practices from the Chicago Transit Authority.
Now, after those two concepts, what are the other things that are on the top of your list in terms of safety enhancements that you'd like to accomplish here at the T?
So safety enhancements, I would like to see data collection. I'd like to see a greater deal of a more efficient process for data collection so that we can monitor and measure the performance of the various disciplines within the authority. That is one of the things I have at the top of my list. Another thing I would like to see here at the MBTA is to have the safety department be more visible, have them out on the system 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, talking, engaging with the workforce, and finding out from those subject matter experts exactly what risk and hazards exist in the system.
One of the complaints that we hear consistently, and I know you've heard it when you've been out on the system, and we hear it from both riders and employees, is about the use of face coverings. What can we do to ensure that riders and employees are properly wearing face coverings?
I think that this is an issue that is seen throughout the country at transit agencies. One of the things that we can do is continue to educate and communicate to customers that it is a requirement that you put a face covering on if you can't maintain social distancing. As far as internally with our employees, I think we have to lead by example. The safety department is doing compliance audits relative to the wearing of face coverings, and we're seeing exactly how many of our employees are not. But it is imperative that we lead by example and show that face coverings need to be worn in public places where social distancing can't be maintained.
Ron, thanks so much for joining us today, and I really look forward to your leadership on safety here at the MBTA.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
As the MBTA continues to address the financial challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, we remain committed to continuing to provide a safer riding and workplace environment for our customers and employees. Thank you for watching today. Remember to wear your face coverings, practice social distancing, and ride safer.